Booster clubs are just messy. Whether you're coming from a small town, a big town, an urban, suburban area, or a rural area, it's all pretty much the same. Booster clubs everywhere are just messy. And there's a reason why. It's a big puzzle. There's a lot of moving parts. And whose idea was it anyway to build a small business with volunteers, right? So what can we do to build a culture of excellence where we can turn our potential into performance? Let's grab some tea or your favorite beverage and jump in. Hey there. It's my joy to be with you today. Thanks for joining us for episode 2 of Tea with Dr. V. When I became a director of bands for the first time, I remember that sensation, feeling I can do this job, but suddenly when I had the title, when I had the hat, it was like, oh my gosh, I've got to do this job. So what I did at that moment was I started researching lots of different programs across the country. Bands that had been to Grand Nationals, people that played at Midwest, or maybe won the Southern Flag of Honor, or they'd played at the Macy's Parade or the Tournament of Roses. Some things that we, as music teacher professionals, would say are model programs within our profession. And when I found 3 core elements that were kind of indicative of all those programs. 1, the teachers there were very passionate. They had methods and systems in place to support their program, and they were strategic. Well, I was certainly passionate at that point, but I didn't really have any systems, and my only strategy was really to survive. Do you feel that way as a booster club sometimes? We're just trying to hang on, to keep on and survive? Well, let's think about some quick wins about how we can turn our potential into performance and actually thrive. So that's how we end up creating the Strategic Boosters system. As we looked at the system of how we were going to try to turn our potential into performance, we discovered 3 fundamentals of core culture building, and they're really defined by Daniel Pink's book. We talked about this a little bit in episode 1, where there's purpose, mastery, and autonomy. So that purpose empowers our parents. So we need to make sure that we define our core values, our mission statement, and how we're going to impact our community. Simon Sinek says, always start with why. Well, if we can share our purpose and share why we're here, what our core values are and our mission statement, and why we are beneficial and how we want to impact our community, that's the very first stage of changing culture. And then mastery. We as a booster club, what can we master as an organization? That would be our business blueprints and making sure that we stay compliant as an organization with all of our governmental agencies, whether it's the county government, state government, or our 501c3 status with our federal obligations there. And then autonomy, how we collaborate and how we give parents a voice, our collaborative action, and how we communicate to our community is how we provide greater autonomy to build a thriving culture. So purpose, mastery, and autonomy equals thriving success. The purpose and mastery is all fueled by a strategic plan. Purpose, core values, mission statement. That's the first stage. And the second stage is we create our goals and strategies, and here's where people miss out. The action plans to implement the strategies. And then, of course, once that strategic plan is implemented, then we want to make sure we monitor and evaluate how it's doing and then strategize on how to improve. And keep in mind, that can take 3 to 5 years to fully implement a strategic plan in your comprehensive program. The autonomy part is really critical in a volunteer organization. People need to feel like their voice is heard, that they have an opportunity to impact the direction of the organization. So here are 5 steps of collaborative action. Reflect. Who are we? Imagine what's possible. Think Disney big, right? And then let's diagnose it down a little bit further in the funnel. What's really doable after we explore what might be possible? What's really doable? But here's what's critical. We need to prescribe our plan once we've diagnosed what's doable, and let's make a decision strategically in what's best next. Lots of people can get to the what's doable stage, but this is critical because people can launch out with an idea, and it might be a really good idea, but our success in thriving comes from really being strategic and making sure we discern what's best next. And then finally, we can strategize what our action is required to fulfill these goals. And as we engage our booster leadership and our project committee chairs and our different volunteers that support and serve in this process, they begin to build that we, us ownership that we talked about in the last episode. So 3 quick wins as we focus on really building and defining our culture at the beginning of a new year or semester. Let's focus on the purpose. How can we really empower our parent volunteers to join us in the journey by empowering them with our core values and our mission statement? We talked about that in episode 1. And now let's think about 3 ways that we can focus on mastery that would help in the business blueprints, okay, or staying compliant, that can help empower and turn our potential into performance. And thirdly, and autonomy. You have great opportunities here at the beginning of the school year. Maybe it's the beginning of a semester, that you really empower your team, whether it's a project team or your executive board, to have autonomy and a voice through your collaborative action. So make sure you empower your team to have their voice. Even if it's a 1-hour meeting, maybe it's a 30-minute session, maybe you collaborate in Padlet and an online opportunity where people can share their voice and ideas, but giving people a voice in their autonomy makes them feel like they're going to own and be a part of your mission as a booster club. I hope this episode has given you some food for thought, if you will, to help you turn your potential into performance. If you like this video, make sure you click the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to check out the description box below. There's a free gift from me just for saying thanks for spending time in Tea with Dr. V. So until next time, stay safe and thrive.